maybe I told this story already, but I was doing a job and just finishing up, and big job. I've been there for a couple months. Full on exterior, interior, stucco and plaster, a lot of fucking work. I pretty much did it all myself. I had a guy helping me labor, but other than that, I did it all. And so I was just about done, and this guy showed up. I had a day left, and he's this Hawaiian guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, bro." He's like, "Hey, you need any help?" And I was like, "Oh man," I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "I'm just finishing," I was like, "Well, give me your number, and when I get another job going, I'll give you a call." He's like, "Oh yeah, cool." And so I get his number, right? And his name and number, piece of paper, gives it to me. And I had a little bread, so, because I just finished that big job, and I go over to take a family vacation over to the Big Island, and I get there, and I'm reading the paper. I don't know if I had the paper, or if I was reading online or what, but I think the paper showed up at the room, back when they used to do that shit.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I'm reading it, and it only had been less than a week since I'd seen this dude, maybe 3 days. And dude fucking went out to Hana, and they got some spots where you can dive off this bridge, and it's almost it's 60 or 80 feet. It's pretty freaking high, down into these pools, right?
Yeah.
And this guy must have been fucking wasted or something, because it depends on the season. If it's a rainy season, pools are really full, and then they dry out and they're not very deep. This guy dove head first, fucking into a pool that only had 2 feet of water in it, man. Fucking 60, 70 feet up, and I was just
from 60 feet.
Yeah, the guy that had come to the job.
The guy who gave you his number and everything. A fucking week later, he jumped in from 60 feet. He landed in a fucking pool of 2 foot water.
Yeah, head first, he dove.
Wow. So
and I was like,
dead?
Oh, yeah, dude.
I thought you were going to say he was a miracle survivor or some shit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no. He shows up for work. Fucking, you're like, well, you might want to take the day off, pal. I don't know how much mud you can. I don't know how many boxes of stucco you can mix up today. God, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
That freaked me out.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like, that's that guy, because he had kind of it's almost like a girl's name, one of those names you can use either way, and I can't remember what it was, but.
He had the name of somebody who would jump off of a fucking high dive.
It was Casey or Terry, or it was something like that. And I was just like, holy shit! I'm like, it's that fucking dude, man. I was like,
he became stiffy.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't have some work for him. Maybe you would have went out to Hana, So, he's all bored. He's like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Oh, I'll go cliff diving.
Yeah.
Fucking Hana.
Well, until that Howie calls me with some work, I really don't have much to do. So I guess I'll go cliff diving today instead. It's his last thought. Yeah, that dude's gonna call me soon. Oh, I'm fucking dead.
He's like, I'll go get Jag and then go fucking cliff diving.
Yeah. Let's get all fucking fucked up.
Yeah. He's telling his buddies, they're like, no, don't do it. He's like, oh, bro, I've been doing this since I was a kid, man. It's all cool.
He's like, it's cool. I think I have a good feeling that guy's going to call me on Monday. Let's have a nice kickback weekend, man. Go full tilt, party on, brah. Oh, no. Nightmare.
They're like, there's no rain, brah.
Yeah. Water looks low, brah. I wouldn't do that. He's like, oh, shut up, man. Get out my way.
I got got him.
Hey, hold my beer. Clank. They're all just fucking horrified, scarred for fucking life and shit. They're like, "Oh my god, we told him not to do it." They just had a fucking face of the death moment that they lived. Just weird. He fucking falls down and snaps his neck and falls down like a sack of shit. Just it's over.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Brutal.
Rag bagged. Oh god.
Yeah, they have a lot of crazy accidents out there on that side.
Dude,
People fall off the side of cliffs and shit, and they can't find them for days.
Yeah, sack of potatoes, dude. Down at the bottom of the fucking Lassie fucking...
That's the thing, people, they go there thinking it's like paradise, like they're at Disneyland and shit. Fucking nature just fucking consumes them.
The pamphlet mentality drops their natural defenses, and they're like, "Oh, it's all so pretty here. Nothing bad could happen." And then...
Right. I'm sure I had a couple moments where I almost fucking was a goner, Fuck. Crazy shit.
You just fall
that's
down.
Life. That's life in general,
You just fall down the volcano side full of silver swords.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, but it's so beautiful. Oh, God. Oh, if there was a way to go out, I guess this is it."
Like, I don't know how many people died doing the bike tours going down that thing. The national park finally wouldn't let people do it anymore because too many people died.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You mean like what?
They had to start outside, like a couple thousand feet down at the entrance
Yeah.
of the park. They wouldn't let them do it anymore because it just fucking too much liability.
Was that thing when you were driving that van or that whatever you're with the tours?
Yeah. Yeah, there were several companies. I worked for one of them for a little bit.
Wasn't that when you first came? Wasn't that when you first got to Maui?
Yeah, it was like the first month.
Yeah.
I worked for some contractors, like a bigger company first, and then they actually canned me because these two Mexicans got in a fight because I let one of them work. Like, I let one of them do my job, and the other one got jealous because one guy, he's like, wanted to show me he could do, like, the trowel work,
Uh-huh.
I was like, fine, go ahead. And, like, some of the other guys were like, dude, don't let him do it. They're like, because it's like, everybody has to do, like, their job,
Was
like,
it...
If you're a mud guy, you're not a trowel guy, you know what I'm saying? It's like...
Weird.
The guys that bring up mud, and that's their full job, is to be your slave, right? And then you just put it on.
Like your mud bitch?
Yeah, they call him a hottie.
Oh, that makes it even better to deal with, I'm sure, for him.
Yeah, so these guys are like pulling mud up to us on the scaffolding, on pulleys and shit.
Yeah.
They're like, the one guy, he's like watching me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, this Mexican." He's like, "Let me show you." Like, he was gonna show me how it's done, right? And I was like, "All right, show me what you got, big stuff." And then, like, so he's doing it, and the other guy's working by himself then. And he got all pissed off. And when he went back down, I went out to lunch, and I came back, and the guy that I let do the work had a big old shiner, like a big old puffy eye, because they got into it, and the dude punched him, fucking. And then word got back to the foreman. It was because I let him fucking do my job for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to let you go, because I'd only been there like 3 days and people are already fighting and shit."
You're already instigating violence 3 days in.
Yeah, even though I didn't do anything, I just let the guy show his stuff,
Hey,
and obviously
it's the Howley curse.
And these assholes, I remember I went and talked to them, right? Like they have a base yard down there.
Oh.
They call it the base yard. It's where all the big contractors have their stupid fucking supplies and shit. They keep all their crap, all their crusty fucking planks and scaffolding. And so I go down there and I meet with the guy. They got like a trailer office, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I go in, and the big boss, not the big boss, but like the second guy down, you know, he's all like this local, you know, just kind of maybe Hawaiian, Filipino, just, you know, all sun-baked and just all like giving me stink, you know, just like, oh, hey, he's like, what kind of work can you do, you know? And I was like, oh, well, I can plaster. He's like, you do the synthetic or you do the scratch and brown coat? I was like, I'll do them both. And he's like, oh, he's like, you know, he's like, plenty guys come here and they, you know, they say they can do, you know, work and, you know, before they know it, they're gone. You know, they go back to California, they just can't handle it, you know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's nice. And I was like, so am I hired? And, because you're wasting my fucking time now, motherfucker, with all your tough talk, you know. I was just like, whatever, dickbag, you know, fucking trying to scare.
This is how we do things here.
Yeah, he's like, these guys, they just come from Vegas, you know, and, you know, talking all this, they can plaster, stucco, you know, and, you know, they left, you know, they only last, you know, 1 month, and they go back, you know. And I was like, whatever, you know, let's do it.
Because they're too intense, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then actually I saw like the foreman, it was like a different dude, but the guy I worked with, like out on the job, actually. It was like this Italian guy, you know, and he's like, I saw him like 6 months later. And he's like, oh, hey, he's like, you're still here? Like I saw him out by Honda. I was just cruising one day, right? Going to look for some cliffs to jump off of or something, you know, and see if I could break my neck. And I'm out there and I'm like, I seen him, right? And he's like, oh, hey. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, oh, man. He's like, we all placed bets. You'd moved back, you know, to the mainland already. I was like, shit. Like, motherfucker, you think I'd give up that easy? Fuck you. You know, it's like, fucking shit. And I was like, and what are you doing? Still working for those fucking knuckleheads? Oh, yeah, you know. I was like, so I told him all the things I've been doing. He's like, oh, fuck. You know, because I'm always, I got game, you know what I'm saying?
I know. Man, you always got lots of irons in the fire. Always a little plan simmering quietly in the background. I know.
But that was the thing. It was always like, everybody act like it was a competition to stay there, you know. Like, oh, how long can you stay, you know? I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment, you know.
Is that the king of the hill pissing contest-y shit?
Totally, man. That's what that place is. It's just a big fucking giant hill. King of the fucking hill.
Fucking bitches. Always got to be pulling that shit because they don't believe in themselves enough. Lack of confidence making them overcompensate like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some shit, man. It's more complex than I care to dive into. Got my own,
it's less complex. I mean,
got my own shit to deal with.
You'd think maybe it's complex, but it's just so base-minded. It's fucking like mindless, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you want to think it's more than it is, but it's just like a pissing contest, you know.
Yeah. Weak. Oh, I was telling you I got some of those Cards Against Humanity. Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yes, those.
Check it out. Just for a quick laugh. I bought the it's the Human pack. It's an expansion pack, and on the back of it says, for Black Friday 2019, we taught a computer to write Cards Against Humanity cards and then made our human writers battle it for their jobs. Here's the pack the humans wrote. It includes 30 beautiful all-new cards about the human condition straight from the hearts of our human writers. Okay, so there's two of the basic like setup cards, like the black ones. One says, "Sure, sex is